Um, Imagine you've just landed in a new city.
Yeah.
You were completely exhausted, and hop into the back of a cab. If you don't have the exact right vocabulary, you aren't just a passenger.
Right, you're basically guessing your way through it.
Yeah. You're essentially playing a high-stakes game of telephone, where every single miscommunication costs you actual time and money. So welcome to today's deep dive.
Yeah.
We're taking a stack of linguistics notes and travel guides to, well, completely remove the anxiety of hailing, directing, and paying for a ride in an English-speaking city.
Because, I mean, really, those first few minutes in a foreign taxi, they kind of set the tone for your whole trip. You see a lit roof light, meaning the car is available, but you always want to verify.
Oh, so you don't just jump right in.
No, definitely not. Just leaning in and asking, "Are you free?" establishes that crucial first connection.
Okay, so let's unpack that initial interaction, because once you say yes, the driver usually asks, where are you heading? And looking at our sources, there's a grammar quirk here that native speakers use effortlessly.
Right, the dropped preposition.
Exactly. They will almost always say, I'm heading downtown. Not heading to downtown. We just drop the word entirely. Why is that?
Well, there is a very specific linguistic mechanism at play there. Words like downtown, uptown, or even home, they aren't functioning as nouns in that sentence.
Wait, they aren't nouns?
Nope, they are actually adverbs of direction.
Oh, I see. Similar to words like forward or backward.
Exactly. You wouldn't say, I'm heading to forward. The word itself already contains the movement.
Right, that makes total sense.
Yeah. But if your destination is a tangible noun, like a specific pinpointed location, you absolutely need that preposition to act as a bridge. So you have to say, can you take me to the library on Rose Street?
Got it. So the grammar dictates how we direct the car.
Oh,
But once the vehicle's actually moving, the dynamic shifts from where we are going to how we are paying.
the stressful part.
Oh, totally. And in our sources, this breaks down into two distinct pricing models. You've got the meter and the flat rate. Now, we all know how a meter works. It calculates the fare dynamically as you go based on time and distance.
Right, right.
Whereas a flat rate is a fixed price that's locked in before you even close the door.
What's really fascinating here is how those two models fundamentally change the psychology of the ride. A meter essentially shifts the financial risk of traffic delays onto you, the passenger.
The worst.
Right. If you hit a jam, you pay for that lost time. A flat rate, on the other hand, shifts that risk entirely onto the driver.
Which explains the universal anxiety of being a tourist stuck in heavy traffic, just glaring at that ticking meter. It is literally like watching a scary movie where the tension just keeps rising.
It really is.
You're just watching your money evaporate.
Yeah.
And I think that specific financial anxiety is exactly why so many panicked travelers make a critical mistake when they finally spot their destination. To stop the meter, they just yell, stop.
Yes, which, please, you should never do.
Never.
Never, because stop is an absolute immediate command. If you showed it from the back seat, a driver's reflex is to slam on the brakes, which, is incredibly dangerous in flowing traffic.
So what should we say instead?
Instead, you need to use the phrasal verb pull over.
So pull over acts more like a directional instruction rather than like an emergency brake.
Precisely. When you ask a driver to pull over, you are instructing them to perform a specific maneuver. Check their mirrors, navigate to the side of the road, and come to a safe, gentle halt.
Ah, so it is a process, not an instant action.
Exactly. It keeps everyone safe.
Okay, so the car is safely at the curb, the meter stops, and now you have to settle the bill. The phrase you want is, how much do I owe you?
Nice and simple.
Simple, polite. And then you ask for a receipt. keeping in mind the P in the middle of that word is completely silent.
Right, receipt. And this brings up an interesting cultural mechanic, especially in places like the US where tipping is expected.
Oh, the tipping math.
Yeah, it can be tricky. But handing over cash and saying, keep the change, is a brilliantly efficient phrase.
I love this one because it acts as a conversational shortcut. You don't have to sit there doing awkward mental math or wait for the driver to count out coins.
Nobody wants to do that.
Right. You just hand them a $20 bill for a $15 ride, say, keep the change, and you have tipped them perfectly while executing a smooth exit.
It is the ultimate graceful exit strategy. It shows you intuitively understand the unwritten rules of the transaction.
Absolutely. And, it brings us to a really interesting final thought for you to chew on. We have just spent all this time dissecting the mechanics of hailing cabs, negotiating fares, and asking drivers to pull over.
A lot of very specific vocabulary.
Exactly. But look at the rise of app-based ride-sharing. You type a destination into your phone, the fare is calculated algorithmically in advance, and the tip is added digitally after you leave.
You barely have to speak at all.
Right. It makes you wonder, in another 10 or 20 years, will this entire street-level vocabulary of hailing and tipping become a completely lost art? Are we learning the essential language of travel, or are we just studying a disappearing era? Think about that next time you hop in the back seat.